You had the inspiration. You had the plan. You followed your intuition even when the path didn't fully make sense. And then suddenly something shifted. The plan changed. Something didn't line up. What was supposed to unfold smoothly took a turn. And now you're sitting there thinking, did I fail? Did I misread my intuition? Did I mess something up? But here's the truth. You have not been told clearly enough. What you're calling failure is actually the moment you drifted slightly away from your joy, away from your alignment, away from the emotional momentum that originally opened the door. It is not punishment. It is not a cosmic no. It is simply the emotional algorithm showing you where you left the path that felt good and shifted into obligation, pressure, or someone else's expectation. Nothing more, nothing less. There is a quiet power in recognizing when momentum feels different, because life does not fall apart to show you your weakness. Life reroutes to show you how deeply you matter. When something seems to go wrong, it is the emotional version of your feed refreshing. The algorithm is not withholding anything from you. It is adjusting to your most recent emotional output. And when the output is strained, doubtful, responsible, instead of joyful, the feed shifts, not to punish you, but to guide you back to what feels like relief, clarity, and inner alignment. Because that is where your life gathers its strength. That is where your desires gather their speed. You are not failing. You are not starting over. You are not losing anything. What you are feeling in these moments is the gap between the version of you who launched the desire and the version of you who tried to manage it through logic instead of emotional alignment. In the moment you recenter yourself in joy, relief, openness, curiosity, your entire feed recalibrates again. The energy that looked stagnant becomes movement. The path that looked blocked becomes soft and walkable. And you realize nothing was lost. You only paused. You only drifted. And drifting is part of the process. It is supposed to happen. This is where most adults misunderstand their spiritual guidance. They think alignment is about holding a straight line. But alignment is not a straight line. It is a responsiveness, a returning, a gentle coming back into emotional ease again and again. It is the willingness to say, something feels tight inside me. I'm going to reset before I act. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be aware. Awareness is energy. Awareness is clarity. Awareness is alignment. When something in your life seems like it didn't work out, it is often because you followed a plan long after the joy left the plan. You kept going because you believed you had to, not because it felt like flow. And when that happens, the universe does not let you ruin your own expansion. It steps in quietly. It repositions pieces. It slows momentum. It protects you from going further into something that no longer matches the future you have already created vibrationally. You call it failure, but from a higher perspective, it is intervention, protection, course correction disguised as disappointment. Your inner being will never let you collapse your own potential. It will always call you toward your true emotional north, even if that means a plan falls apart. And that is why the universe never judges your detours. Your detours are often the fastest way back home to yourself. When you feel like you failed, what you're actually feeling is emotional separation from the part of you that knows your worth, the part of you that understands your value. It's the part of you that knows you are guided and supported and celebrated. So the discomfort is not the universe condemning you. It is the emotional difference between who you really are and the version of you trying to earn something, prove something, or push through something you no longer believe in. This is why joy matters so much more than effort. Effort without joy collapses. Effort with joy expands. Joy is the indicator of alignment. Joy is the proof of coherence between your desire and your vibration. Joy is not superficial. It is diagnostic. It tells you instantly if you are tuned to who you really are. People call procrastination a flaw, but often procrastination is alignment asking you to pause. The part of you that doesn't want to take the next step is not laziness. It is emotional intelligence. It is your inner being saying, not this step. Not yet. This isn't the frequency match. And when you honor that pause instead of condemning it, the next step reveals itself naturally, with clarity, with grounded readiness, with the emotional fuel you need to move effortlessly instead of dragging yourself through obligation. And the universe always responds to your emotional state, not your calendar and not your to-do list. When you push through resistance, you create more resistance. When you soften your resistance, you create openings. It's not magic. It's alignment. It's coherence. It's what happens when your internal state becomes your primary guidance system instead of your external plans. There is a version of you who is already living the life you think you are failing at. It exists vibrationally before you see it physically. And that version of you is constantly calling you forward, moment by moment, not through pressure, not through force, but through subtle nudges. Light impulses, little sparks of curiosity, tiny desires, moments of peace, thoughts that feel like relief. That is alignment. That is the emotional algorithm guiding you through the path of least resistance. And when you follow that emotional nudging, everything in your physical reality shifts. People show up differently. Opportunities emerge faster. Solutions appear without struggle. The path becomes smoother, kinder, softer. Because alignment is what turns possibility into reality. Nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. Even the moments where life feels like it fell apart are carrying you somewhere bigger than your plan allowed. You came here for the joy of expansion, not the pressure of performance. Came here to feel, not to prove. Came here to explore, not to meet external expectations. And when you understand this deeply, you stop treating detours as defeat. You treat them as guidance. You stop treating slowdowns as punishment. You treat them as recalibration. Stop treating uncertainty as danger, but you treat it as permission to find a better feeling thought. And that is the moment your life changes, because your alignment changes. And when your alignment changes, everything external must shift to match it. That is the law. You will not fail at what is meant for you. You cannot fail at expansion. You cannot fail at becoming more of who you are. You cannot fail at joy when you prioritize how you feel, because everything that is truly yours is waiting for you at the frequency of relief, not effort. At the frequency of clarity, not pressure. The frequency of joy, not fear. You are not going backwards. You are not losing time. You're not disappointing the universe. You are being guided toward a life that is richer, deeper, better aligned, and more accurate to the real you. Sometimes that guidance comes as momentum, sometimes it comes as a pause, and sometimes it comes as a complete redirection. But it is always for your good, it is always for your expansion. And it is always proof that you are supported by something bigger, wiser, and more loving than anything you could ever fail at. You are not failing, you are becoming.